Everything we've talked about so far has been normal genetic inheritance. You're born with the genes you have. But now we're going to talk about what can happen when there are changes in the chromosomal structure. We've talked about changes in chromosomal number, but now we're going to talk about chromosomal changes in structure. So we're going to, usually these chromosomal changes in structure occur or are caused by chemicals, radiation, or viruses. So there are some cases when your genome can actually change throughout the course of your lifetime. These changes in structure are often caused by those environmental influences. The change in structure can ultimately lead to a change in function. It may have no effect, may have a devastating effect. One of the most common changes in the structure of a chromosome would be a deletion. A deletion is going to be caused by a small part of the chromosome, usually the tip, being broken off. So it's just a loss of a piece of a chromosome. Most common deletion occurs when the tip of the chromosome breaks off. A great example of this would be the Cri-du-chat syndrome, which is caused by deletion at the tip of chromosome 5. Here's an example of an individual who is born with this particular symptom. A piece of that chromosome 5 has been deleted. A duplication is another possible change in the chromosome. This is where we actually see an addition to a piece of chromosome. The effects depend on the size and the position of the addition. For example, Fragile X syndrome is just a duplication of a region of the X chromosome. Here is that normal chromosome and then the fragile X chromosome. Physical features may include a long and narrow face, large ears, flexible fingers, and larger testicles. About a third of those infected with these features have autism, which is problems with social interactions and delayed speech. Hyperactivity is also common. Seizures can occur in about 10% of individuals. Males tend to be more affected by this than females. And going back to our X-linked traits, please let me know if you can tell me why that is. The methylation, so this is caused by a methylation of the CGG repeat expansion of the FMR1 promoter. This leads to a silencing of the FMR1 gene and the lack of its product. Without that product, we tend to get a constriction of the X chromosome, which appears to be fragile under the microscope at that point. That's the phenomenon, or that gave this syndrome its name. So there you go. That's the fragile X chromosome. And that's it for this chapter. You should be able to define, give an example of, and use the terms homozygous heterozygous, dominant recessive, genotype, phenotype, pleiotropy, multiple alleles, and polygenic traits. You should also be able to describe how chromosome deletions and duplications affect the production of proteins, and then describe common genetic disorders in humans and their causes. We did not talk about comparing and contrasting methods and advantages of prenatal, newborn, and adult genetic testing. So you will not have to do that for this particular semester. If you have any questions, please let me know. You should also be very comfortable with using a Punnett square. And I know we did not spend much time on it in this particular lecture series, and that's because it's not easy to do. I am not particularly skilled with PowerPoint or with technology in general. I would feel much more comfortable giving this as a chalk talk. So what I will do is in the evening we will have a discussion where we will go over a bunch of tutorial examples on how to do Punnett squares. Please review these and spend a good amount of time practicing them. As you will see when you start to work on your Mendelian genetics labs, the labs are a lot of Punnett squares. If you are not comfortable with using them, please let me know immediately, because almost your entire lab grade will be based on your ability to utilize those Punnett squares. So spend some time, look at some tutorial videos on your own, come to my chalk talk, and we will work it out. All right, that's all I have for this chapter. Thanks.